I want to introduce our leadership of Oregon's higher education, Commissioner Preus and Chancellor Pernsteiner. The two are ardent supporters of higher education, and they have been particularly staunch supporters of quality of education, have lobbied for funding for a variety of efforts for Oregon's higher education. And when it comes to the DQP, they have not only tolerated my last-minute requests and idiosyncrasies that come when you are in Sonia's world, they've gone out of their way to keep the work visible in every forum that they've been part of. It gives me great pleasure to introduce Commissioner Preus, who will join us from Ashland, followed by Chancellor Pernsteiner.
Well, good morning. I'm really excited to be joining you electronically, and I'm really excited about the DQP work. As Sonia has said, we've been tenacious and committed for a whole year, and this conference, I think it's interesting that it was a year ago that we were hoping to be funded, and now we are. And it does show that Oregon has great spirit and great commitment to this work. And as I think about what this work is, and want to thank all of you for coming together today, thank the conference planners and Sonia especially. And I don't mind at all that last minute call to join this group, Sonia. I think you've done a fabulous job of setting up some speakers that will give Oregon the opportunity to look at what's happening nationally, and then time this afternoon and tomorrow to really drill down. And as I said, as I've thought about how the DQP fits into our work, it really takes me back to the 40-40-20 and how those could be viewed just as numbers, just a lot of counting, but they're really about completion and quality. And it isn't just about the completion, it is a lot about the quality and progression. And Oregon has always been committed to quality, and the DQP I see as a valuable tool to help us deepen that work. Student success isn't just about the numbers, it's about helping the student actualize and achieve their goals. And as I think about that, and student learning and their goals can translate into the achievement compact that we are dealing with in Oregon, and that focus on progression and completion. Then again, I think that DQP could help us foundationally look at quality markers. Very pleased that right at the genesis of the work that underlies the Oregon Education Investment Board was the work of LearnWorks from last summer, where the higher education group emphasized the importance of 21st century learners as global thinkers who are equipped with the skills to navigate the world and solve emerging and unscripted problems of our future. And I don't remember a time when the faculty and academics from all 24 institutions have come together to really have a dialogue about what a degree means. I think we started some of that last year. Certainly we've been concentrated on what an AAOT means, but now we're going to be talking about how to nest an associate's with a bachelor's with a master's. And I have no doubt with the creativity and the brilliance of the minds that are there in the room or engaged electronically, that over the next 3 years, we will have some fabulous results that we can share with the nation. I'm sorry. I'm so loud they have to close the door here. I'm also pleased, as Sonia said, I'm also pleased that Lumina is allowing us to be open in our development of materials. And it really does exemplify the post-secondary value that we have, where we have systems and non-systems that can work together to make something that works for Oregon. I have to note that I'm really pleased that we have a continued positive relationship with the Lumina Foundation. Their funding of Win-Win, recently reverse transfer, and now DQP, bodes well for Oregon as a cutting-edge state that they can look to take on problems and look for innovative solutions. And I guess if I think really back about 4 years, I would never have guessed that the community college work on student success would have brought us to this place where a non-system would be helping lead the conversation around DQP. And they do it not because they have to, they do it because they want to. And they recognize that student learning is one of our most important goals. So I'm going to stop there and let George give you a welcome. I wish you well today. I wish I could be there with you. I do want you to know that this morning's session is provided here with the Oregon President's Council meeting, and so we'll all be checking out and listening hard for the remarks that follow. So thanks again and good luck today.
Thank you, Cam, and I'm certainly glad it was Cam who had to figure out how to enable the camera and not me. Cam stole all the substance out of my lines, which is appropriate and normal. So I'm here mostly to welcome you and to thank you and to try to look ahead over the course of the next day and look back over the course of the last year. First, I want to thank Sonia and her staff at Lane Community College and Mary Spildy for allowing them to spend so much time on this project. It's very important. And one of the reasons I think that the 17 community colleges can come together as if they were a system is the energy, the dedication, the focus, the passion, the commitment, and the connections of Sonia and her team. So thank you, Sonia. Now, I'm really excited about the day. I'm excited about the day on two scores. One is I get to listen to some of the people who are the true stars in the firmament of higher education. And you will know why I say that by the end of the day. And the other reason is I get to interact with you, with the faculty of the community colleges and the universities. I met last night with the chair of the Interinstitutional Faculty Senate, Bob Mason out of Oregon State, who regrets he can't be here today. And we were talking a little bit about this, about how really what matters for Oregon and Oregonians, what matters for our students is what the faculty think and do and feel, because they can make it all real. You can make it all real. He was real excited last night when I was talking about today, and I hope that you will be too. But I want to cast my mind back. 369 days. 369 days ago, many of us met in this room. We met. 369 days ago, we learned. We learned about the content and the context of the degree qualifications profile. 369 days ago, we pledged to work together. And we agreed to go out and seek some funding to help us do that. And then, most of us went back home, and we thought great thoughts, and we did great deeds about something else. But we all remain committed to student success. We all in this state remain energized about the state's goal of 40-40-20. We all of us in this room and all of us who were here last year are convinced that quality and the assessment of quality are really the missing ingredients in our discussion so far about 40-40-20. But while we were off doing great deeds about something else, and Sonia and her team were planning to bring us all back to actually re-engage, student enrollment here in Oregon and around the country increased. We all have more students. We in Oregon awarded a record number of degrees last year. State support here in Oregon and in most other states was cut. We in Oregon, and just about everybody else in the nation, were greeted by new educational opportunities, Coursera and the MOOCs, the freeware that governors and legislators see as replacing public colleges and universities so state resources can be diverted to other, more pressing issues. That's the background. But we have here in Oregon now the confluence of a 40-40-20 goal, higher enrollment, actual and proposed reductions in state support, and free courseware. So where does that take us? It leads us to an increased need to focus on what we mean by the certifying role we have in awarding an AA or a BA. What is the value? What is the quality of a degree in terms of learning, in terms of proficiency? And how do we measure that? How do we define what it is, and how do we measure what we define as the hallmarks for those who earn our degrees? Now, we said all this 369 days ago. Not a surprise. We may have said it 369 years ago. I'm not sure. I'm not quite that old, although my kids disagree with that. We said last year that calls for accountability demanded that we define and measure what degrees meant. And this year, that's all still true. But this year, we also must address the learning our students bring to us from other places. We are not the sole providers of college education. We are not the sole providers of content. We are not the sole providers of how to think. The urgency is that if we do not define and measure learning, society will assume learning or turn to others to certify it. And let me say that again more directly even. If we in higher education, if our faculty cannot figure out how to determine what learning is and what it means and how to assess it and how to convey that assessment effectively, learning from whatever source will be assumed. And really the main role that we have served for hundreds of years of certifying will be lost. That may not be what we think we do, but that is what society thinks we do. And this really is, in my mind, the most fundamental challenge to that certification role that we have yet faced. But we have help. Because with Lumina's help, we in Oregon now have the opportunity, and we have the resources, for our faculty to define, to measure, to construct the framework. And we have with us today some of the most important thought leaders in higher education who can help us frame our thinking and help us define our work plan. You in this room, our faculty across the 24 institutions in this state, have been leaders in this work. You're already making progress in defining learning outcomes. Now, you and we need to build on that work, tying your understanding of what students should master with how you will determine if they have done so. We need your guidance. We need your guidelines. We need your framework. I don't think it's too much to say that the future of quality in public higher education is in your hands. And I am confident that it is in the best possible hands. Thank you very much, and my thanks again to Sonia.